It's 1965 and Reg Park's plane ticket to LA cost more than a funeral. He wanted to see the famous Joe Weider's research clinic, that holy shrine, the Vatican of vascularity where science fucked muscle and produced truth. Weider met him at the door, that smile, all teeth and no soul. Where's the research clinic? Joe walked him to a closet, a fucking broom closet. Inside, Ajax, paper towels, the same mops that clean up piss at the Greyhound station. A piece of notebook paper taped on the door. Weider Research Clinic scribbled in crayon. Ink already fading like natty testosterone levels. Reg Park, 250 pounds of British beef, staring at mops that supposedly birthed the Weider principles. The fitness industry's founding myth. Not Moses receiving tablets, a con man showing off cleaning supplies. Today, everyone has their own closet. Mike Israetel's contains a PhD from a school that advertises on bus stops. Jeff Nippard's closet holds YouTube plaques. 10 million subscribers watching him count buckets and call them studies. Participation trophies for adults who never got enough attention at science fairs. Solomon Nelson kicks down the doors, opens the closets, finds the same mops, the same buckets. Watching Mike Israetel play victim like his dissertation was Anne Frank and Solomon the Gestapo. The fitness industry circled the wagons pretending they don't see it, playing along like relatives at Thanksgiving, ignoring Grandpa's racism. Because acknowledging it means examining their own closets, their own Ajax, their own mops. Jeff Nippard watches Solomon's video, the same Jeff Nippard who tracks his bowel movements in a spreadsheet labelled digestive optimization, who measures his girlfriend's orgasms with a smartwatch and calls it biofeedback. Watching academic fraud exposed and suddenly he's Helen Keller before the water pump, deaf, blind and intellectually mute. His reading comprehension flatlines, EEG showing no activity, his scientific literacy experiencing a massive fucking stroke. The phrase gentleman's agreement assumes gentlemen exist. But Jeff Nippard's no gentleman. He's what happens when insecurity gets a film degree and a PubMed subscription. When cognitive dissonance starts a YouTube channel. When a Napoleon complex discovers video editing software. Jeff Nippard, former client, had paid Solomon Nelson to consult on 2 training programs. Cash for credibility, the fitness industry's favourite lubricant. Solomon helped him, was friendly and helpful, while Jeff was recognising and grateful. Past tense, because gratitude has a half-life shorter than Tren and Mike O'Hearn's natty cycle when controversy arrives. Solomon showed the world Israetel's PhD's academic bukkake. Endless mistakes splattered across pages, citations sprayed everywhere. When Israetel tried the old wrong draft switcheroo, Nippard's Instagram lit up with mockery towards Solomon. Drama, he called it. Petty. Just Solomon adding semicolons to rough drafts. The intellectual equivalent of complaining about cum stains on a porn set. The word semicolon means half colon, a pause that's not quite a full stop. But Jeff Nippard's brain full stopped the moment he typed that shit. See, here's the psychological truth no one wants to admit. Men who build careers on being right develop an allergy to being wrong. Not metaphorical, physiological. Their amygdala swells, cortisol spikes. Their ego floods their bloodstream like a drug. They need to respond. They need to. The word petty comes from the French petite, small. But exposing academic fraud isn't small. Jeff calling it petty is small. Jeff's entire existence is small. 5 foot whatever of concentrated coke trying to shrink everyone else to his level. Criticizing Solomon's content as sensationalist, while his own channel sells $40 PDFs teaching people how to count to 10 with dumbbells. Jeff wrote, Solomon's trying to play off his Reddit brain parasocial anti-fan hit piece as a good faith attempt to help fix the way administrators archive their papers, is pretty funny. The word projection comes from the Latin proicere, to throw forward. And here we have scientist Jeff throwing his own shit forward like a chimp at the zoo, hoping it sticks to Solomon instead of sliding down the glass where everyone can see it. Read that sentence again. It's what happens when panic fucks grammar and produces word salad. Reddit-brained, parasocial, anti-fan. Each term stolen from smarter people's arguments, deployed like a child throwing daddy's tools at a burglar. This is your scientific hero, your scientific literary spokesman, a man who tracks his girlfriend's menstrual cycle in a spreadsheet and calls it hormonal periodization, who measures his morning wood with a protractor and publishes the data. Days later, the admission. The confession came out like a wet fart at a funeral. Unexpected, undeniable, and everyone pretending they didn't smell it. Solomon had the right version all along. The examined, approved, framed on the wall version. So Solomon Nelson shot a second video, because Jeff Nippard's mouth wouldn't stop moving even with Mike Israetel's balls in it. The word revision comes from the Latin revidere, to see again. But Jeff Nippard doesn't want to see again. He wants you to unsee what you already saw. Digital Stalin with the voice of a Muppet on TRT, airbrushing Solomon out of his past like Trotsky from a Soviet photograph. This is what science-based looks like when the science says you're wrong. You don't change your hypothesis, you change the evidence. Comments vanish, critics blocked, gaslight your audience into believing the whistle never blew. The digital equivalent of burning evidence while the cops knock. But you can't hide what everyone saw. You can't unring the bell of your own stupidity. Solomon kept receipts, screenshots, emails where Nippard praised his work like an OnlyFans subscriber begging for custom content. The evidence piled up, transactional affection preserved in Gmail's amber. Fair journalistic standards are to at least reach out to the party before publishing, Jeff whined, suddenly concerned with ethics, a virgin worried about STDs after the gangbang. This from a man who published attack comments without reaching out to Solomon, who creates drama while condemning it, minus the courtesy he now demands like a waiter expecting tips after spitting in your food. Only in Jeff's kingdom of mutual mediocrity, where everyone's agreed to be constitutionally averaged together, where standards are negotiable if everyone negotiates them down simultaneously. Watch Jeff see himself in Israetel's exposure, one mannequin recognizing another in the department store window. That cold sweat when you realize you're next. When the whistleblower who found one closet full of mops might open yours. Every YouTuber's nightmare, being revealed as exactly what you are. A middleware, a repackager, someone who counts other people's push-ups and calls it content, who cites studies he doesn't understand to audiences who understand even less. The word integrity comes from the Latin integer, whole, complete. Jeff's integrity is a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing, and the rest from different boxes. Then comes the masterstroke of hypocritical artistry, the long, unsolicited message detailing personal grievances to Solomon, followed immediately by, "Please keep this private." Like shitting in someone's mailbox then requesting discretion. The audacity so pure it's almost beautiful. This is your evidence-based fitness influencer, conducting one-man Salem witch trials and DMs while publicly preaching objectivity, demanding complete erasure of professional history while building an empire of transparency, using throwaway email addresses like a cheating husband with a burner phone. Scientist Jeff's moral compass spins like a stripper's tassel. Wherever the dollars rain, that's magnetic north. Watch him launch yet another program. Seems low volume's back. Suddenly Jeff's selling the breakthrough concept of recovery for $39.95. Next week PubMed contradicts it, says high volume works. Jeff discovers, amazing, that doing more makes you bigger. $39.95 for the opposite advice. Next month's meta-analysis resurfaces high frequency. Jeff pivots. Revolutionary. That'll be $39.95 for the ancient wisdom of consistency. The customers don't notice. They buy December's program that contradicts June's program that contradicted January's program. Like goldfish circumnavigating the bowl, discovering the same plastic castle every 7 seconds, paying for the privilege of swimming in circles. Jeff's not following the science, he's following the money. The science is just the breadcrumb trail left for the pigeons. He's a weather vane of integrity pointing wherever the algorithm's wind blows strongest. The same mop and bucket weeder was selling, just with hyperlinks instead of crayon. An MLM of muscles, a Ponzi scheme of periodization. Evidence-based training, where evidence is based on what needs selling, where training means training your audience to ignore contradictions, where the only consistent principle is inconsistency monetized. Applied science, applied meaning, applied to your credit card. Solomon Nelson didn't expose a dissertation, he exposed an industry-wide delusion. A case study in how an entire industry monetizes the aesthetics of science while practicing the reality of cult membership and consensual hallucination. The fitness industry's Zach Bruder moment. Frame 313 on infinite loop. Everyone watching Mike Israetel's credibility explode in slow motion, but half still insisting the shot came from the grassy knoll. From haters, from jealousy, from clout chasing, from anywhere but the truth. The reflexive vernacular cults reserved for apostates. Tribal antibodies attacking the foreign truth. Because admitting what happened means admitting they got conned, and nobody wants to be the mark. The fitness world's emperor, Mike Israetel, strutting naked through YouTube's algorithm for years while everyone complimented his invisible credentials. His words, meticulously chosen multisyllabic missiles. The perfect narcotic for gym bros desperate to feel smarter while doing the same shit they've always done. Intellectual steroids for the cognitively natural. When Solomon pointed at the emperor's dick swinging like a metronome, the industry closed ranks and formed a circle. Not a circle of protection, a circle of mutual complicity. Everyone pretending they see clothes because admitting otherwise means admitting they're naked too. The fitness version of nuclear deterrence, mutually assured exposure. If Israetel goes down, they all go down. The house of cards held together by affiliate links and discount codes. Jeff Nippard, another naked emperor in platform shoes, hoping nobody notices the difference between correlation and causation in his programs. A man who built his brand on evidence until the evidence threatened his tribe. The scientist who believed the fib because it felt better than the fact, who chose emotional bias over evidence. Now watching the bus he tried to push Solomon under roll over his own image instead. The semicolon, half a colon. Nippard, half a scientist, half honest, fully fucked. This isn't about fitness, never was. Fitness is just picking up heavy things and putting them down, eating less, moving more. The entire industry is selling complexity to hide simplicity. It sells optimization for people who can't do 10 push-ups. Sells periodization when what they mean is sometimes do more, sometimes do less. Milo of Croton carried a bull up a mountain 2,500 years ago. Everything since is just footnotes and payment plans. Solomon Nelson holds the camera. Everyone holds their breath, waiting to see who blinks first, who admits that everyone knows. The emperor's naked. The science is theatre. And the only thing evidence-based is the credit card charges. The end, the beginning, the same thing forever. No refunds.